majority will pick A. Anyone pick B? Only a couple of people pick B. Okay. Okay. All right. I'll get to it in a minute. Number 2, which would you prefer? A sure loss of $900 or B, a 95% chance of a $1,000 loss and 5% chance of no loss? How many pick A? Very few people. 2. Okay. Those. Can I see those hands again? Was that okay? Okay. Sharon, you pick B, right?
On the first one.
On the first one, pick B. Okay. All right. Okay. So how many people pick B on the second question? A lot of you pick B. Okay. Which is expected. You know why? Because most people, they are risk averse in the domain of profit. Because when you see a profit, you said, hey, I want to go and take the profit right now, right? That's what an average trader would do. I see a profit, I'm going to take it now. Instead of there's a chance for a bigger profit, but then there's a 5% chance of loss. So you don't want that. And however, on the domain of losses, most people are risk-seeking. Why is that? Because if you pick a sure loss of 900, meaning that when you pick a loss of 900, what does that mean to you? That means you're accepting what? Failure. You make a mistake. So what most people do, they hang on to the loss with the hope that it will come around, right? When you're in a losing position, you want to justify of being right. So you don't want to accept a loss. So you will stay in a losing position. That's what they call a loss trap. You are trapped in a loss and you cannot get out. Okay? So one of the, yes, Jin?
I think if you make, a bigger difference between 900 and 1,000, the answers will be different.
Well, I'll get to it in
The
a
answers
minute.
will be tougher.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'll get to it in a minute.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or just say 500
Okay.
and 1,000.
Okay. Okay. I will get to it in a minute. Okay. How to follow a fundamental law of trading. The fundamental law of trading is what? Cut losses short and let the profits run. It's easy said than done, right? Cut losses short. What does that mean? Meaning that if you are wrong about a position, if you purchase something, and if you're wrong, you should get out. Don't justify it. You're wrong. It's okay to be wrong. Remember, you just need to make money. You don't need to be right. Okay? If you're right on a position and if it's making you profit, you should let it run. Let it run as long as you can, but make sure you put those stop loss order. Okay? You keep pacing your position up. But what happened to most people is when they have a position that's making them a lot of money, they become what? They become greedy. And they have a lot of fear. It's like, wow, my God, I double my money, I triple my money. They're getting scared. Okay? They get into a position where they're not comfortable with their gain. And what happened is that they get into what? Self-sabotage. Remember, now since we're talking about psychological element of risking, I mean touch on our life as well. All of us have our self-image of what we can be in our life. For example, if you make a living, and if let's say your father never make more than $100,000 a year, and that is a psychological level. And when you make more than that, psychologically you say, wow, I'm making more than my dad. I'm becoming more than what my dad can do. Psychologically, you feel uncomfortable. And that is a ceiling that if you're not able to break it, you will self-sabotage yourself when you reach that level and you will come down. But you have to know that. Otherwise, if you don't know it, you just don't know why. When you get to that level, you become scared. Your performance is subpar. And eventually you'll drop down to the level where you're comfortable with. I see a lot of, when I was working, I see a lot of managers, a lot of technical, engineers, when they get promoted out of their competency, right? Roger, you know that, right? I mean, they're very good at what they do, but once you promote them to the level that they don't feel right, they just, hey, I'm not that good. So they perform better when they're at a lower position. So they're being promoted beyond the level of competency, their self-image. So you have to ask yourself, what level am I comfortable with? Does all of us have a psychological ceiling? Whatever that ceiling is, maybe making money in the stock market, maybe performing at certain levels in your job. Who knows? But when you have that belief, that's what is stopping you. Just like last week when I presented my example of shooting. Okay, when I went to shooting, in the basic training, I have no notion that I'm a good shooter, a bad shooter. I just don't have that belief. I just don't know. So when I start shooting, let me ask you, do I make every target? No. During training, I don't make every target. What happened when I miss the target? Instead of telling myself that I'm a best shooter, I go back to what the instructor told me. Okay, relax yourself, bring your sight in, okay, inhale and exhale, just breathe slowly, and exhale, and while you're squeezing the trigger. I follow all the steps, because I have no notion that I'm a best shooter, or I'm a good shooter. I just follow what the procedure tells me. So, if you're not performing at your level of competency, then there's a psychological barrier that you have to break through. Okay, coming back to the example here. Okay, so how do you cut your losses short and let your profits run? Now you have to change the mindset to be a risk seeker in the domain of profits, and to be risk averse in the domain of losses. Now I show you an example here. Now let's say you're doing 100 times of the trade that I presented here, okay, in the above scenarios. So you look at the second box at the bottom of the page on page 1. Now, for the majority of the trader, most people will say, wait, you will take a sure profit of $900. So if you trade 100 times, so 100 times 5 times 900 profit, it will give you what? $90,000. You will make $90,000 of profit. But our second question is, which would you prefer, a sure loss of $900 or a 95% chance of a $1,000 loss and a 5% chance of no loss? So if I have a 95% of loss, so if I take that, 95 times what? 1,000, because 95% chance that I will lose $1,000. So I will lose $95,000. With that scenario, your total loss or total net gain or loss will be what? 5,000. You gain 90,000, but you lost 95,000, so your net loss is 5,000. Okay? Now, for a smart trader, the smart trader is what? To be a risk seeker in the profit domain, but risk averse in the loss domain. So for the smart trader, I'll take the 95% of a $1,000 profit. So in that case, 95 times 1,000, that's $95,000. Okay? And in the loss, I'm going to take the loss. That's 100 times $900 loss, that equals $90,000. So the net gain is what? $5,000. Compared to the two scenarios, one netting you a $5,000 loss, another one netting you a $5,000 gain. So which would you prefer? Okay. So from the math standpoint, you can see that when you have a loss, you should go and take the loss and let the profit run. So when that happens, in the long run, you'll come out ahead. The key is what? To preserve your principal in the trading.
Could I,
Question? Yes.
I'm gonna come across as a little bit picky,
Sure.
sorry. In the second box,
Mm-hmm.
under where it says 95 times 1,000,
Right.
should that be profit? It says the word loss, should be profit.
95 times the chance of $1,000. No, that's profit.
No, it's supposed to be
My
low.
word says,
It is
the word,
loss.
word says loss, but should it be profit? The word on my paper says loss.
You look at the second box, right?
Yeah.
You look at the smart traders,
Majority traders.
majority
Should
trader.
that say profit?
100 times of $900 profit.
Yeah,
Oh, that's right.
say low.
Chance of profit, you're right, it says a profit. 5%
95,
chance of no profit.
95 times, hold on a second, over $1,000 loss. No, that's right.
That's right.
That's right. That's
Take
right.
number one.
That's right.
And then there's a
So-
chance of
Well,
$1,000 profit.
is the, under majority traders, is there an A and a B, and then under smart traders, there's an A and a B, is that what's going on?
Yeah, majority trader. Okay, you look at majority trader.
Or a one and a
The
two?
100 times, that's the question one. The 95 times, that's question two.
Question two. Okay,
Right,
that's
right.
what's-
Right, 'cause
Oh,
he's
okay.
taking the
Right,
95% chance of 1,000.
Right.
So that's one A and
Is this upside down?
Okay.
Doesn't matter, doesn't matter. I'm good.
So is everyone okay with math? Does that make sense? Does it make sense to all of you? The key is what? The key is, if you have a loss, let's cut your loss. Go and accept it. Accept that you have a loss and move on. Because what happened is that when you have a loss that is like lingering, it hurts you psychologically. It's, you just need to cut your loss, just admit it, just like, hey, there'll be another trade, there'll be another position I can get into. I just move on. Just cut the loss. Just cut it and move on. Okay? Because if you hang on to it, if you're hoping that it will turn around, that 95% loss could become 100% loss. Unless you got 5% back. But if you follow your trading rules, hopefully you won't suffer a 95% loss, right? If you follow your trading rules. The trading rules will get you out. The trading rules, depending on how you set up the trading rules, if you accept a 7% loss or 10% loss or what have you, it will get you out. Now in today's stock market, it's been very volatile. Okay, I mean today Dow Jones just gained another 200 some points. And several days ago it gained another like 300 points, whatever. So it's been gaining a lot. So what do you expect tomorrow or Monday will be? Go down. So accept it. Accept the fact that it will go down. It'll get, you know, the news may be, oh, stock market suffered a 300 point loss. Good. Time to get in. Pick up those bargains and wait 2 days, boom, you know, capture it and get out. All right, so questions?
So, is that the mindset of a gambler, that they've lost money and they just keep playing to get it back? Is that what you're saying? When you
No,
have a loss and you can't?
Gambler and trader, they're a little different to me. Okay, gambler meaning that
Must mean the same to me. That's why I'm asking this question.
trader have some calculated risk. Okay, gambling is like when you gamble, you're hoping that it will come around with many times your profit, and if you lose it all. But as a trader, you follow rules. You are trying to control your emotions. See, there's 3 stages of traders, okay? The first stage of trader will be, you always keep looking for the best stock to own. You keep asking people, where's the next Microsoft, where's the next Facebook, Alibaba. You're looking for those. Okay, that's the first stage of trader. The second stage trader will learn and say, okay, I know looking for the best stock is probably not going to do it. So they're looking for the best system. The system. In the investment world, there's a lot of companies selling systems, meaning that, like TradeStation or what have you, you put in like different screens, it spit out so many stocks, and you're hoping that you can follow some systems, and those systems will get you the right stock to own, and then you can make a lot of money doing that. That's the second stage of trader. Hopefully, we all can go into the third stage of trading. The third stage trading is you recognize that it's not the external controls that makes your money, it's the internal controls. What's the internal controls? Internal controls are you'll be able to control your emotions. Meaning that you're no longer letting your emotions of greed and fear to drive you. When you have a losing position, you just cut your loss. Instead of holding on to a losing position, hope that it will turn around. Then you're letting your emotions to drive you. But if you have internal control, you say, okay, I follow my trading rules. If my trading rules doesn't work, okay, I may have to tweak my trading rules. But I follow my trading rules, because my trading rules is what I follow. Internal control. You controlling your emotions. Okay? Questions? We okay? Okay, you turn to the next page. Oh, there's a little comic strip that I put on the bottom of page 1. I don't know if you guys see that, to answer your question about the envelope. Is that probably at a roulette table or what have you. Somebody saying, sir, I understand your aversion to risk, but this is a casino. You can't bet on all numbers every time. Because when you bet on all numbers, that's the same amount, right? You will not lose, but you will not gain either. Because you're betting on every number, right? Okay, going to page 2, risk control. Risk control has to do with money management. Setting up your stop levels, okay? There are 3 kinds of stop levels. One is enter a stop order immediately after taking a position. When you get in a position, you want to put in your stop. That's the first type. You immediately. You can put in like, if it drops below 7% or 10%, whatever you feel comfortable with, it will get you out. When you do that, you don't have to keep watching the stock market. But then the disadvantage is, if the stock that you are purchasing make a lot of big moves, it will get you out pretty easy. Okay, so you just have to see if the stock that you are buying will make a move big enough that will take out your stop every time after you purchase it. But then by doing an immediate stop, you don't have to worry about it.
So
you can just like put it away. Yes?
If it was not possible for you to watch the market on that day,
Yeah.
it's great, you're good. If you could watch it, maybe you could even decide yourself, but if you can't watch it, this is like really crucial.
Right, exactly. Or you can put in an email alert if you want to. A lot of brokerage, they allow you to put in a price alert, what have you. When it goes up or goes down certain price, it'll send you an alert. Then when you see it, it's like, oh, okay, do I need to act on it? Because remember, if the whole stock market is going down, 99% of your stock will go down with it. So it's not the stock that you own presents a problem, just because of the broad stock market is going down and your stocks just go down with it. Okay, you just have to understand it. You know, there may be news out there that driving the stock market go down. You know, with what's happening in the Middle East nowadays, right? A lot of news could drive that up, could drive the stock market going up and down. So the second type of stop order is anti-stop or loss order with your broker, but not in the market. Meaning that you let your broker know that if something happened, let me know, then I will decide whether to execute or not. But with nowadays, the digital age, you can pretty much do that yourself. You put in a price alert, volume alert, news alert, whatever alert. When that happens, you'll get alert. When you get an alert, you can do something about it or you can ignore it. At least you know. Okay? C, have a mental stop. Having a mental stop, meaning that you will have to like watch the market pretty much. Most people don't have the luxury of, most people don't want to do that. Unless you are like a day trader, that you go in and out, that you'll be sitting behind a terminal and all that. But otherwise, you know, you don't want to do a mental stop. You just like mentally say, okay, I'm watching it. If it goes up or goes down certain price level that I'm interested in, I'm going to be doing something. But then, are you following your own trading rules? If you don't, then your mental stop is just, you know, because if you don't have an exit strategy when you enter a position, you will let your market's emotion drive you. So be very careful with that. Okay? Next time I will get into the money management. More about money management is like your position sizing. How do you do position sizing on your trade? You know, meaning that when you see a good stock you want to own, you don't want to spend half of your account's position. I mean, your half of your account size into that position. You want to spread your risk. You want to diversify. So you're only risking so many of your account money into one position, even though that is a good stock to own. Okay, so I'll get into position sizing next time. I gave you guys two stocks to look at last week, right? HFC and HP. Did any of you guys keep track of that over the last few days? Some of you did. Okay, so sure, how did you do? What's your accuracy and what's your confidence?
I did it for 4 days.
Okay.
And like I told you, I got the one stock all correct.
Okay, good.
But I had a 0.5 confidence because I wasn't sure I would bet on, but I did
Okay.
get that one right. Like I told you on the other one, there was
Right.
no 4:30 timeframes that I
Okay.
could track, so I couldn't track if it was right or wrong.
So
on
you're
that
like
result.
50% accurate and
I don't-
50% confidence. And,
Yeah.
okay. Okay, anyone else? Somebody? Yes.
Oh, I did it 4 days too, but.
4 days, okay?
Now, I did the 2 others that I had been doing.
Okay.
And so, I got 3 right, 3 days.
Okay, good.
And the next day, I got 3 wrong. But I knew I was just so sleepy and tired by the time I was doing
okay.
it that day.
Okay.
I shouldn't have even done it probably.
Okay, so you force yourself to do it. Okay.
And I knew that I just wasn't into it.
Okay. Did you calibrate yourself when you scan?
Well, not very well.
Okay.
I was really falling
You're very
asleep.
tired.
I was
So
falling
what happened
asleep
when
in
you're
front of
tired,
you.
when you scan? You're gonna be wrong.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay. Okay. All right. Anyone else want to share your? Yeah, Roger.
Well, it was real interesting because the first day, the
Okay,
answers came very quickly. And I said, bing, bing, 100% right. And then the next day they started coming real quickly and I said, well, maybe I need to go back and check those. And so when I went back and checked, I flipped the answers, so I got 50% the second day. So then the third day I said, well, now I gotta really be careful this time. And they got 100% wrong.
so you're questioning yourself, right?
Right.
So what about your confidence? Did you estimate your confidence?
The first day I did, but then
Okay.
after that I didn't. So,
Okay.
but the point is, I've learned to go with that first impulse and not worry about correcting and doubting and all that good stuff.
Right. I advise you guys to track your numbers. Even though you do it for 4 days, you can average it and say, okay, this week my accuracy is like 50%, my confidence is 50% or what have you. Track that. Okay. Is that Aldo? Yeah. Okay. Let me get you first.
Yeah, sure.
Well, I did it the 5 days, I got 8 out of 10.
Oh, 8 out of 10 is good. 80% accurate.
Great.
Okay. What about confidence?
I didn't do confidence.
Oh, you need good confidence. Okay.
What do you do to confidence?
When you scan, when you make your prediction, you said the stock is gonna go up or go down. Then you look at your confidence table. You pick a number. You said, do I have a clue when I pick that? Or maybe, but I would bet on it, or I might bet on it, I would get on it, or a good bet. You just like pick a number, pick a confidence at the moment you do your scan. Okay? Yes?
It's just a question about timing. When she was saying I couldn't find, we were talking about
Right.
4:30 p.m.
No.
Is there any reason you can't make these predictions based on today's open and the morning open? Because you can get opening stock prices on those sites for sure. I mean, it has it on Yahoo Finance. So is there any reason why your prediction, why that would matter? Why you can't just go from 9 a.m.
Right,
this
right.
day, or the market open to market open?
Yeah. I don't think, depending on what you're trying to do,
Just predict the up and down.
yeah, you can,
Properly.
definitely you can do that. You can do that.
Yeah, okay.
But if you are
So to
planning
know
to
if you're
do
right or
some
wrong.
trading in the future, if you're planning to do some trading in the future,
Mhm.
if later on you become very confident that you go be right, and you want to trade on some positions that you know is going to be up in the next 4 days,
Mhm.
okay, so it doesn't matter if you are scanning from opening to opening.
Right. This is just to
As
keep
long as
testing.
you become consistent on how you do it.
Right.
You don't change the way you do, you just want to be consistent.
It's just like Sherry said, that it can vary by such a small amount. That if you look at it, the amount that it goes up or down or whatever, it can change the factors right or wrong.
Yeah,
I'm
you just
taking
want to
my
be
scanning
consistent.
time too, because as I was showing Jack printing that out with the HP, because you couldn't tell because at 4:02 or 4:04 it was up, and then at 4:48 it was down, or 5:30 it was down, so you couldn't, where
Right.
it was at 4:30, so I'm gonna change mine to like, what time, like at 4:05 or 4, something, because it was like 4:02, 4:04 that it's always tracked. So I'm gonna change my time.
Ah, okay.
You just want to be consistent, that's all. Okay, anyone else want to share? Yes.
I did the 5 days
Okay.
and I got 70%.
Wow, that's
Wow,
good.
Sharon, good for you.
My
Did you do your confidence?
I did,
And
every time.
what was that?
5. So, but I checked myself.
Okay,
My confidence didn't improve from last week. I was 5 last week,
right.
and last week I was only 20%. So I thought that was interesting.
So
I did so much
you are
better,
more
but-
accurate in your scanning, but the credit you give yourself is a lot less.
It hasn't improved. My confidence is the same as it was last week.
Because the confidence scores you give to yourself.
Say the same.
Yes.
Yes,
Right. But your accuracy is moving up.
yes.
Yes. That's good. Keep on doing.
It's that word bet on it that is
Oh,
making us
okay.
not want to go any further than the 5.
Well, I want to show you my score. As you can see that I share my score. That's from Friday, day 1 is Friday, and day 4 is Wednesday. So my accuracy is like 50%, my confidence is 50%. But at least I'm consistent from last week, 50-50. But when I look at the stock price, when I compare the stock price from day 1 to day 4, HFC increased by what, 10.3%. Okay, so that stock's been moving up. It's very rare for a stock to move 10% 4 days. And HP, that stock HP moved up by 5.8%. Okay, so those two stocks has been moving up. And if you look at the stock chart, it's moving up. Yes?
May I ask a question for everybody else? Where did you find 4:30 to be able to test yourself, or if you're doing 4:30 Eastern Standard Time to get a correct answer?
With the 4:30 statement, and then Yahoo Finance historical, and whatever they put in that
Right.
posting.
Yeah.
So but
That's
on
what I used to do.
historical, you
Yeah.
said that's what you use, but does it say 4:30 there, or what time does it say if you go to historical?
Close.
It's close to 4:30?
Yeah, because
Oh, at close?
the stock market closed at 4.
Right,
Okay.
okay.
But if people put in the order, people meaning the institution, put in order at 3:59,
Yes,
so they have to spend the next 30 minutes processing those orders, and that's why you may have a 30-minute gap there.
okay.
They have to accept orders up to 4 p.m. Eastern. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
I
so
mean,
close is, at close, it's not taking anything after close, the aftermarket.
Right,
So it's at close?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
that's where you go for historical
That's-
and look at close
that's what I
amount.
used to,
Okay,
that's what I
okay.
used to,
Okay,
historical
okay.
basis. Yes?
That would have been helpful to know.
Plus, though, the scanning statement says 4:30 to 4:30, so I'm
Right.
asking for that to
Yeah.
count for it,
Right.
but I'm putting it specifically in the statement.
Right.
'Cause
Well,
we're-
I put that in the statement too, but if you go to Yahoo Finance and you're just looking at the top part, and you're not going to historical, and you're seeing at 4:02 it's this, and 4:48 it's this, it doesn't tell you 4:30. So, and it changes up and down.
Oh,
every
yeah.
day.
Okay, so next week's stock to watch, or tomorrow's stock to watch is the one below here, JBL and PWL. Okay, you can continue to use the HFC or HP, but you want to use 2 new ones, those are it, right there, okay? Any questions?